How shall we start this?
Do we not start every podcast with like, hi, I'm Helen Tudor and this is the Ideal Client Attraction Podcast, or not? You can have that. Done. Rocking and rolling, let's go.
Here we go. And we're back.
We are back.
One word. Content.
Yes.
Let's do this.
Content's interesting because content means being content. But no one's ever content with their content, are they? Like, it's such a massive, topic that I've been teaching for a very long time. But what I really want to do today is talk about how to use this 3-minute practice to inform your content.
Right.
So I always talk on stage about how you don't need a content strategy right before a content strategist comes on. And I can see them like, get her off the stage.
In music, they blew them away. You know, like in music, it's like, they shouldn't have put them on first. How can you follow the Beatles?
I was like, oh, sorry, all the content strategists and copywriters. So let me just preface this with, I believe that as an entrepreneur who's doing great work in the world, who wants to help people on a really deep level and transform people's lives, whether it's with a great pair of shoes or whether you're a life coach or whether you're a great videographer or whatever, you don't have to have a content strategy. You don't have to become a content writer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't want to... I'm talking about the we as in myself as well on this. Like, I don't want to learn how to be a copywriter. I don't want to learn how to be a direct response sales copywriter. I don't want to learn how to format and strategically put out content that makes people buy, because it's not my jam, you know? My thing is my thing, right? And I'm great at my thing, but I'm not great at, or I don't have aspirations to become a great copywriter or a great content writer. What I do want, and what I want for people who follow me and who also don't want to become a copywriter or a content strategist, is to, this word again, it's just relax. Yeah, stop overthinking it, over-obsessing about it, stop looking for that magic thing, that one thing that's going to change the way when you show up online, everyone's going to flock to buy from you and you'll be able to sell out all your launches. And listen, it's about 2 things, really. Getting people to know you and getting people to buy from you. You don't even need to get people to like you. You just need to let people get to know you. They'll either like you or they won't. Yeah, they like you or they won't. Yeah. I think if you this whole know, like, and trust thing, which I've talked about in the past, of course, but I'm more into, I want people to like me, love me, want more of me. Yeah. And if they don't like me, love me, want more of me, then that's okay. I don't want to convince people to like me, basically.
I have a little sort of take on this, and the knowing bit is the only bit we can control. Yeah. Know, like, trust. Knowing is the only, we can only put stuff out, and then that gives people the opportunity to know us. Yeah. People talk about, you got to get people to like you. I'm like, well, people don't like to be gotten. Yeah. You know, like, for number one is if you want to use that language. But I struggled with this for ages, and I'm like, well, I don't have any control over this. I'm a control freak. You know, I am. I'm so, like, I think everybody is. Everybody wants to feel a sense of control. But the second I realized that you can't control whether people like you or not, it's their choice. You're just giving them the opportunity to upvote you or downvote you, really. And I think it's freeing once you realize that, you know.
Well, this is it. You can only focus on what you're doing. So what I say is focus on what you're doing and be consistent and show up with your content. Yeah. Now, there's some strategic stuff we can talk about. And if you find me on any social media platform, you've heard me talk about the 4 pillars of content, right? Yeah. So stories, telling stories about who you are and what you're doing and why you do it. Video, so people can get to see you as a moving, talking person. Yeah. Social proof, so people can see evidence that you are who you say you are and that other people have done the thing they're thinking about doing. And call to action, sales posts. Yeah, the number one thing I don't see enough of is people selling. It's blows my mind, right? So in my opinion, and other opinions are available, we should be selling every day, should be telling stories every day, we should be showing who we are and what we're about every day. Pretty simple. Yeah. So we just get people to know us and get people to buy from us, or ask people to know us and buy from us. You've got to be growing your audience every day if you want to grow your business. Simple enough. So are you taking action every day to grow your business? And that's something you can ask in your inquiry, right? So when you do your practice, it's like, what can I do today to get in front of new people? Yeah. So one of the things I used to ask myself way back, actually, before I called it a practice, was how can I leverage my time, my resources, my authority today? How can I get in front of more people today? And that could be being a guest expert on someone else's group, getting on a podcast, being in someone else's like Facebook group, for example, adding new people on LinkedIn, asking to connect with people on Facebook. But new people is the lifeblood of a business, really, a growth business. Otherwise, you're just talking to the same people.
Yeah. And if they're not buying, you're stuck.
Yeah, you do. Well, over time, if you're not growing your audience, over time, they've either bought from you or they're not going to buy from you. And that's it. And then that's when you get into a real plateau because you're like, no one's buying my stuff. It's like, well, they've already bought it. You need to get in front of new people. Yeah. So growth is really important. And you can do that as part of the daily practice. You know, how can I grow my audience today? But then you've actually got to go and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever comes up, you got to go and do it. So this is the thing about the two things, the spirituality and the strategy. It's like whatever your soul suggests, you've got to then take action above the line and actually do the bloody thing, right? So whether it's sending off to be on 5 podcasts and emotionally, you know, forgot my words, so I have to edit that. Whether it's applying to be on 5 podcasts and then disconnecting emotionally from whether they say yes or not. Yeah. You got to take the action. Yeah. Whatever happens after that is out of your control.
Yeah. Might be no, but it's maybe just no for now.
Yeah, it might just be ignoring you, which is the most common, which is fine. But you've done your bit. You know, your soul suggested something and you've taken action. These are the two things this is the boat we talked about in the manifesting, right? So it might be doing that. It might be asking to connect with 5 new people, 10 new people. It might be engaging in someone else's Facebook group, might be adding 5 new people on Facebook or Instagram, whatever, right? But taking action every day as part of your commitment. So if you commit into the 3-minute practice, you've also got to commit to activity. So growing your audience every day, but then content is how we engage our audience every day.
It's the vehicle.
It's the billboard, it's the TV channel, it's the radio station, it's the background noise to these people's day.
Do you, quickie here, because I love this perspective, because there's resistance to content, isn't there? We know this. There's people that post and people who don't. There's some people that post for a bit and then don't for a bit. You know, there's all these difference.
And I know why, by the way.
Yeah. But one of my favourites, I always think perspective is a good tool to have. I've seen people post about this quite a few times. It's like, if you go back 20 years, 25 years, whatever, Yellow Page time, you know, when it was in the Yellow Pages. Yeah. I read one the other day where it said, when I was personal training, I had to put an ad in the Yellow Pages. There was no internet when I started. And they said, if you missed that ad, no one knew about you for a year. Yeah. Because it was once a year. Yeah. And people go, oh, well, whatever, like, time's moved on. But no, that's not my point. My point is look at now, a phone in your pocket can connect to literally potentially billions and billions of people, not 1 or 2. And I think sometimes that perspective, you go, yeah, well, I might be kind of like stuck with what's post and all this sort of stuff. It's like, listen, if you get some perspective here, the world's your bloody oyster.
Well, this is it. And I mean, I could really get on my soapbox here, but I think the shift is... Do it. Well, there's a couple of things here. If you're not sure what to post and you can't be bothered posting and life got in the way, then you just shouldn't be in business. You should go and get a job. Yeah. That's the truth. Because you're going to have to show up and post, unless you're going to run a completely offline business, which is also possible. But I'm talking for the most people who are using social media to run their businesses. Yeah. But the second thing is, you get to post on social media. Yeah. Like, this is a gift and a privilege. Yeah. And it's, like you say, it's unbelievable. In the old days, you had to go knocking door to door. You'd have to go and hand out leaflets. You'd have to go to loads of like networking events or whatever, because you'd have to go and see people in real life.
Yellow Pages.
Now you've got your computer phone in your hand and it's all in there and it's free. It's a great opportunity. And if you don't see that opportunity and feel incredible gratitude for it,
appreciation, you
shouldn't be in business. Go and get a job. You know, and there's no shame in that. I think if content is like just beyond you, just don't be in business. Yeah. You know, just don't be, you know, and I see people saying, oh, I want to outsource it all. No, you've got to write your own content. Or you've got to write your own content. That's quite important.
Find someone else to be the leader, like, so to speak, you know, like become a part of someone else's business, not necessarily get a job, but you can still work within these spaces. It doesn't mean go get a corporate job. You could still work within the realm you want to work in. It's just that you might not be the face and the voice.
You might not be the face, yeah. If you really love what you do and you really want to get yourself out there and you want to be the face of the business, we're going to have to put out some content.
The other side is there's many, many different ways to post content.
But I'm only going to talk about my way. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So my way of posting content is connecting every day, and then posting whatever I feel like. Yeah. So, but if I don't feel like posting, I post anyway. So there's a minimum here. I make sure I post every single day. I've got an offer out going every single day, and that is a non-negotiable. So no matter how I feel, no matter what's going on in my life, no matter what else, what else could possibly be happening behind the scenes, there's always a post going out, at least one, right? But when I feel like posting 15 times a day on Facebook, I post 15 times on Facebook. There's nobody in the world that can tell me I shouldn't or I can't do that. Yeah. Because I do what I want. So if I feel compelled to write 15 different things on Facebook in one day, I will. And I don't care what anybody tells me about the algorithm and how I shouldn't be posting so much or people will get sick of me. I do not care because I do what I want to do. So if I feel inspired to write, I write. If a thought comes into my head, I post it. If I feel like writing about something or I see something that makes me want to post something, I write it. But for me, social media is a conversation with a friend. So when you've got a mate and you send them like messages all through the day and then you see funny things that you want to share with them and you want to tag them in things, it's just like that for me. So my audience is a friend. It's just a conversation with a mate. Yeah. So I don't see it as like a marketing channel. This is particularly for me, Facebook, and I think everyone's got their favourite platform. Yeah. I do similar thing on LinkedIn, but I definitely post more on Facebook. So Facebook is my spiritual home for my business. It's where I live. It's where I hang out. I do go and post on LinkedIn. I do a bit on Instagram. I'm trying to get a bit better at TikTok. But my core platform is Facebook. And I post on there whatever I want, whenever I want, as much as I want. And that's what I want people to take away from this. It's not about rules. It's not about... People come to me and they're like, right, so 4 pillars content. Do I do 4 posts a day? I can't do 4 posts a day. Can I do 1 post a day? What if I want to do... I can't post today because I've done my 4 posts. And it's like, I didn't tell you got to post 4 times a day. That's like an urban myth about me. Yeah. They're the kind of 4 pillars. If you want to do 1 a day, great. If you want to do 15 a day, great. It's how you feel as long as you're posting something every day. We never drop off to nothing because then we are losing that kind of momentum and that consistency that we'll talk about. Like, you are in charge of your content, and looking for other people to tell you the strategy, the structure, the blueprint, the answer, the holy grail is just the same as looking outside of you for what should my offer be, what should my pricing be, who should my ideal client be, what should how should I show up in my business? It's in here. How do I feel? What do I want to do? And I've realized that over many, many, many years of teaching is that people will do ultimately what they want to do. And there's not a lot I can do about that. Even if they pay me many thousands of pounds, if they don't want to post every day, they are not going to post every day. And that's fine, but that you've got to realize the implications of that. Yeah. So this comes back to, again, radical self-responsibility. And self-accountability and a commitment to showing up, but also a commitment to allowing your own desires and energy and, you're opening up that channel, if we want to look at it from a spiritual point of view, is all content is channeled. It comes from something outside of us. It's a creative thing that comes in, and some people are more open than others. Some people say, I've had this download and I've, compelled to share it and all the rest of it, which I'm not a massive fan of. But again, you do you, babe, right? It's not, you do your content the way you want to do it. I'm not here to criticize or critique anybody's content. Some things I don't like, but that's personal. And some things I post other people won't like, right? So we have to get away from what should my content be and into what does my content want to be? So the way I want to relate the practice to the content is...
You think people are overthinking this then?
Yeah, massively, yeah. I would say here's your Overthinkers Anonymous badge and just go and post, But you got to take responsibility. If I've seen it a million times, people who go, you know what, great, I can just do what I want. I'm going to post all the time. I'm going to put my offers out. I'm going to post fun stuff, silly stuff. I'm going to post stuff about my weird hobby. And when you see that energy shift of they're just having fun with it, then that's when you see it from the outside of this person's just enjoying themselves. And that is, we talked about this in another episode, very compelling from a sales point of view. When this person is aligned with how they show up online and they're not following a plan or a strategy or a 4 things a day or a 1 thing a day or a 1 thing a month, whatever it might be, like then they're doing what they want to do. So it's like with TikTok, it's my daughter and I, Katie, we went to a TikTok day and Lisa, who runs it, is fantastic. And she said, this is how I do TikTok. And we all learned how to do TikTok Lisa's way. And it's great. And it works for her. She's got millions of views. And when we got back home, Katie said, I like doing it this way. And I'm like, babe, that's the point. You do it how you want to do it. Because otherwise you won't do it, you know?
Yeah.
You've got to look at this long term.
Yeah. If
you're going to be in business for the next 10 years, you're going to be putting out a lot of fucking content. So let's do it in a way that feels good.
One thing that is interesting, like... from a video point of view, a mentor once said to me, one of his phrases, like you had to be like yourself. You had to be radically self. Don't be a second-rate version of someone else when you could be a first-rate version of you.
Yeah, exactly.
And then...
Well, it's interesting because how do we become friends, right? We become friends when we bond and we share secrets and we spend time together. It's just like it happens over time. So for me, I want my Facebook audience to feel like we are friends. That's the vibe I want to give. Not everyone wants that vibe, and that's okay. Yeah. That's my vibe. That's what my client, when I check in, that's what my ideal client wants. They want to feel like I'm a friend that they can trust and they can rely on. Yeah, I'm not saying that's right for everyone, but that's how I feel is the right way for me to show up. But I show up over and over and over again in a micro way. But the macro way is I know who I am, I know what I sell, I know who you are, and I know what you want. So, but the micro stuff is the filler. It's the if you think of it like a channel, it's the fluff, it's the entertainment, it's the comedy show, it's the story, it's the rom-com, it's whatever it might be, right? It's all these different themes, but then we've got to have our billboard, we've got to have our sales, we've got to have our sales. Get down to business, And what I've realised is how I do it isn't for everybody. So this is what I'm saying to people is go into yourself and in your practice, how do I want to show up today online? How can I show up today that's going to really align with who I am, who my client is and what my offer is, and then post.
Here's a question for you then, because this has cropped up a bit in my work. I often try to help people define why they were on social media. Because one of the big problems that cropping up, it was like, what might my family think if I post this type of stuff?
Yeah.
Like that's a common one, isn't it? It's like, oh, my friend might say this, or Sally up the street. It was like, well, like none of them pay your mortgage if you're there for business. But that's where it comes to, well, why are you there? Are you there for business? Are you there for social? Are you there to consume? You know what I mean? Do you have a definition on why you're on social media? What's your take on that?
Well, I'd assume everybody listening to this on social for the business. This is the I would imagine. And for me, when it comes to what will people think, there's the only people that matter is you and your client, which is why the practice is really powerful here. Because I find myself with that. I look at out there and I think, oh, there's, on a practical above the line level, if I see people doing what I do similar, I'll unfollow them. So I did this all with LinkedIn, and now all the ideal client people are popping up because of my reticular activating system, right? So I just unfollow them. Nothing, no personal. There's nothing personal, but I don't want to be influenced or inspired even or triggered by other people doing what I'm doing.
Because it's external.
It's not in here. Yeah. So on a practical level, I unfollow and I just curate my feed so I don't see people doing what I'm doing. But I go in every day and ask my client what they need. And when I take it from out there to in here, it becomes really simple. It doesn't matter what my friends or my family think. It matters what my ideal client thinks, because that's who I'm really talking to.
Yeah.
This is who I care about.
Out there compared to in here.
It's quiet in here, yeah. So I would say if you're ever unsure of what to post, go in. Yeah. If you're ever about to post from the bottom left because you're triggered as fuck, go in. Spend some time in. Yeah. Like if you're feeling a certain kind of way about anything, go in. The answers are all in there. They're all in there. Yeah. And let that inform your content. But also when it comes to on a practical level, don't filter what you put on to a point, obviously. Yeah. Like if you feel it and you think it, type it. I would say there's a very low friction for me between something I think and feel and my thumbs, because I pretty much start typing straight away. Right. The other practical sort of
ready fire aim.
Yeah, because I think one thing I wanted to say in this episode was, please don't schedule content. because we can feel it. The energy's gone. It's like looking at a picture of a dead person to an alive person.
That's what I was saying earlier. You can sense it.
Yeah, if you post something today and it goes out next Tuesday, it's never going to feel the same as if you post it right now. It's just never going to do it. Please. But I mean, from my side, the team will schedule some stuff. If we've got an event coming up, that'll all be scheduled by the team. It'd be like 3 days to go, 2 days to go, see you at the event. Yeah. So they schedule that stuff. But stuff that comes from me, and it comes from me in the moment. Yeah. And I think that's really important. Yeah. And the other thing is, for me, if I'm thinking about how I do things, is I post content straight after I've done something that's cleared my mind. So most of my content is written. So none of my content is written in my office. I've never sat down at my big computer and thought, I'm going to write a post, ever. Right. Yeah, I only go into my office to do calls. Right. My content is always written out and about. It's always written on my phone. Because when the idea comes, I write it. Or the thought comes, I write it. The inspiration comes, I write it. But the thoughts and the feelings and the inspiration come from activities that have allowed me to get into a more of a meditative state. So most of my content is written in a towel when I've come out of a shower, dripping wet. It's a visual you didn't want for today. You didn't ask for. On the sofa at my kickboxing gym, dripping with sweat. So I've just finished a heavy workout. I've just stepped out of the cage and I'm like, give me my phone. I need to write something because something's just come to mind. It's written in my car, sat on my drive before I go into my house because my house is chaos. And I can sit in my car on my drive because I've just driven and I will write because that's when the inspiration's like come to me.
To every single one.
I write sitting outside. I used to write sitting outside of college waiting for my daughter to come. I don't anymore because she drives. Like on the sidelines of like the kids' football. So like, don't wait is what I'm saying. Is write it in the moment, and even if it's inconvenient. One of the I talked another episode about how I'm always late. The main reason I'm usually late is because I'm writing content, and I will not write it.
You weren't late this morning.
I wasn't. No. It's a new one. But if I'm writing content. If I've got the idea, I'm writing the content, doesn't matter where I am, what I'm doing, it takes priority because I don't want to lose it because you lose the magic. Putting things in your notes and all that, just that's where your energy goes to die in content, in my opinion.
And do you trust that, well, if that was meant to be, that'll come back?
Yeah.
And I'll post it again. Yeah. Because you're posting so...
I mean, put me on a train for 2 hours and it's chaos. Yeah. But I don't think... Say I'm on a train for 2 hours, I don't think I better not post 7 times in the next 4 hours because what will people think? I just think, oh my God, I've got all these things to say and I say them all in 2 hours.
During lockdown, I mean, we couldn't go anywhere during lockdown anyway, but I had a lot to say. Yeah. You know, it's like it was coming to me and it wasn't about lockdown and all of that. There was stuff coming out. Yeah. And, you know, because you're able to think. Life was a bit quieter because we were at home and stuff. Yeah. And it's very much reminiscent of this thing. But anyway, so I got a question for you, which I think our lovely listeners might like. Comments, likes, emojis, numbers of, like how much mileage am I getting with this? Has it been shared?
If I could wave a magic wand, I would remove that.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, because it just messes with people's heads. So what happens is, people's activity is dictated by their energy, and their energy is dictated by their emotions, and their emotions are dictated by the reaction that they get to their activity. Right. So it gets in this loop and it can go either way. So if you're posting, you're on fire and you're posting, everyone's loving your stuff. And, you know, like when I started doing the daily practice and I started talking about ideal client work, so I was like tick, 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 everything aligned, my content was on fire. I was writing it in like a meditative state. It was like, it was coming in so fast and I was writing it so well. I even looked back at one post and I was like, fucking hell, that's good. And I didn't even know it was mine. And I was like, shit, that was mine. But I was like I was so in flow. I didn't even remember that I'd written it, but it was that good.
Oh, this is it.
I was like, this is so good. I was a bit like, I'm going to have to unfollow this person because this is so good. And I want to write like that. And then I was like, oh, I wrote like that. So like,
can you actually slap your own back? Can you?
Yeah. But people were DMing me like mad, like, oh my God, your content is on fire. Like, this is amazing. I absolutely love it. I was getting loads of great comments as well. And that was really fueling me and I was doing more and it was great. And I was really on a high. It can go the other way though. Aye. You get nothing, you get sadness.
Tumbleweed.
And then people are like, oh, what I'm saying is crap. But honestly, I would write the way I write, whether I got any engagement or not.
Yeah.
So people will engage with my stuff, but it's because I've been around for 10 years. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
You know, but I always say, if you want engagement, it's easy. To go and write something controversial about something that's happening right now, and you'll get engagement.
Yeah.
Yeah. People, it's funny because I have to stop my eyes rolling back in my head when people come to me and say, I posted about my business and I got no likes and no comments, but I posted about my cat.
Yeah.
Doing a funny thing, and everyone loved it.
Yeah.
And I was like, and they're like, does that mean my business is crap? And it's like, no, it means that people like cats and people like kids and people like dogs and people like funny stories and people like current affairs and people like controversy, because that's what people like. People don't like other people's business stuff. They read it, but they don't. Why would they engage in it?
It's an interesting one. So I remember when you married Stu, right? And a little bit in me, I saw I think there was a post where it was just like one photo. I was like, married my soulmate, so that, because I knew there'd be a photo montage bomb coming later, like 98 plus photos there. Yeah. But I saw that one, and so your eyes naturally, because you're on Facebook and Facebook's your platform, moves to the left, and it was something like 1.2K. I
said to Stu, I was like, I'm going to post this just so you know, it's going to break the internet.
Yeah, I was like, bloody Nora. I was like,
but why? Why did that break the internet?
Well, I know
why.
I'm going to get to that, right? So, bang.
Bang, sorry.
So a friend of mine had a baby the other day, 900 likes. Scroll 2, 3, 4 posts down, 4 likes, 5 likes.
Yeah.
And the content that he posted, amazing content for his business. It was very well put together. Actually, one of them was a client of mine and helped him with video in the past. All really good. My dog died.
Yeah,
not so long back.
Such a sad story.
Got run over.
I still think about that story.
It was my most viewed post ever. But then here's another interesting one. So again, like if I post one of me and Lynn, which is rare, and then I delete it afterwards. So I don't know where I am at with this actually. I'll post it and then delete it. So I have this rule of no kids, no Lynn. I don't want to share family, and I'm kind of okay with that. That's my rule. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
But I'm still torn with it because now I'll post it and then I'll delete it and I like the likes and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, Mark? But I found a post once of Anthony Hopkins and he just said something real nice, profound. I thought that's quite nice. So I screenshotted it and I put like, I liked this just as the words. There's the only words I wrote. It went absolutely, it was the biggest post I'd ever done. Totally random. I think it was up to something like 8,000 likes on my personal, not a business Facebook page, personal Facebook page. I was like, holy shit. Had something like I think it's like 1,200 shares. It just got caught and it just took off. Yeah. And I think the shares sort of boosted in that. I remember thinking, and then I got obsessed with it. Fuck it. I'm not Anthony Hopkins. It's not my quote. I wrote fuck all meaningful on it. You know what I mean? It's on my wall.
People like Anthony Hopkins. That's what we've learned about that. Yeah.
And then here's what I did. How about this for dumb behaviour? I won't post after that because I wanted it to be at the top of my feed. I wanted people to see how popular I am because of my amazing
This is what
posts.
I mean though about your emotions dictating your activity.
It's a trap. Back off. And then eventually I just deleted it. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I'm a moron. I'm just like... But
I knew that... Well, particularly the engagement, I think the wedding photo, people were expecting they knew I was getting married. The engagement was a surprise to me, right? Yeah. Never mind anyone else. Yeah. So
it was on the 6 o'clock news elsewhere.
So on the engagement was on my birthday and it was a surprise to me. So, but again, Stu had arranged this big surprise party and everything. And it was amazing. And then it was really late at night. Obviously, I'd had loads to drink. And I was knackered and I sat on the sofa and I said to Stu, I really want to post about it, but I know it's going to blow up. Said, so brace yourself, basically. He got like 400 new followers or something. And so I posted it and I knew that people would be fucking delighted for me. And I know why, is because they've known me and they've followed me for 10 years. Yep. So they remember me as a single mom. They remember me moving out my house. They remember me doing lives in that rented house. They remember me saying, traveling the world with my girls. They remember me making some money. They remember me saying publicly, on that January, I'm going to
find my man.
I'm going to find my man. I'm going to manifest my man. And I documented this whole journey. I was like, I'm ready. I want to start dating. I want to, I'm going to manifest this guy. This is what I want. This is what I'm going to do. And then when I met Stu, it was like, I documented the whole journey. It was like, here's this guy and this is the guy, and we had this amazing love story, and I documented not every bit of it, but some of it. And I just knew there'd be people, hundreds, if not thousands of people who have been following me and watching that story like it is a soap opera. And I'm one of their favourite characters. And they were absolutely thrilled for me. And they weren't expecting it. So it was this huge celebration of the story, really, rather than me getting engaged. People get engaged every day. But
I also say to people, okay, so you didn't post a viral wedding day type post today. Great, who gives a fuck? Post again tomorrow. It's
well, this is it. I don't expect any engagement on my sales post, because why would people comment on it? And as people come to me and say, no one's commenting on my sales post, it's like, why would they? Give me one reason why somebody would comment on your sales post. Give me a good reason. It's like, and then I'll say to them, when was the last time you commented on someone else's sales post?
Never. Absolutely never.
So why do you expect what you don't give?
Yeah.
And if people don't even comment on your day-to-day posts, how much commenting are you doing on other people's posts? So this is what we do on LinkedIn, and this is what we do on Facebook. It's like, you've got to proactively go and be a good, engaged cheerleader, member of communities, go out, be nice to people, support what people are saying without arguing with them or without trying to pitch them or sell them something. Without turning the conversation back to you and what you do. Like, it's the amateur move is to do your comments and talk about your own business. No one gives a shit about your business. Definitely not the person who's just posted about their business.
Where are you on comments?
What, doing them?
Yeah, maybe on, let's say just in the context of your own posts.
Getting them or doing them?
Doing them, yeah, replying, I guess.
Oh, no, right. So replying, I don't do.
Right.
I haven't got time. And that sounds like really arrogant, but I get so many comments now that I don't. And also, Mitch Miller taught me this. Sorry, my nose is killing me. Excuse me, everybody. Mitch Miller taught me this. It's like, if you reply to every single comment, or every single tag you get. And he did a demo of this. We were in, I think we were in New Orleans. But anyway, he said he got up from the table and he went behind the door. He said, it's like peeping out from the door every time. It's like, if you reply to every comment and every tag you ever get, it's like you're so available and you're just there like every second of every day. He said, what you do as a, if you want to call yourself an influencer, a thought leader or anything like that, is you put out the content, and how people respond to that is up to them. Yeah. And you don't owe anyone a reply to every comment. And I had a bit of a fallout with somebody who shall not be named about this. But I don't think replying to every single comment is an essential part of social media. No. In fact, I know it's not, because I don't do it and I do fine on social media. I make a lot of money, and as far as I know, people aren't offended that I don't reply to their comments. But if I do reply, people seem quite pleased about that. So I reply to the ones I feel like it, and I don't to the don't. I don't hold myself to this standard of like, I must reply to every single comment because that'll help the algorithm, or I must reply to every single comment because that's what I need to do because it's social media. That's probably the thing that annoys me the most. It's social media, so we've all got to be social all the time. It's like, you do you, whatever you want to do. If you want to reply to every single comment, go for it.
I went through a phase of replying to people's comments with Ron Burgundy gifs. Right. and it entertained me no end, because it was the challenge of trying to choose the right one. Right. There's only about 20 of them, and it was like, I don't believe you. And then he'd light a cigarette, while he was at the news desk, and it was chimichanga. and like. But
if you've got time to do that, like Mark obviously had, then great. But...
Hey, listen, sometimes my poos take a long time. so just so you know, there is an essence there of going on. Those are my boundaries.
But this is another thing that someone said to me quite early on, is if you want to be a 7-figure business owner, act like one now. And if you're a 7-figure business owner, i.e. you've got multiple businesses, maybe you've got multiple revenue streams, you've got a big team to manage, you've got, you're not going to have time to respond to every comment, just like I can't respond to every DM. And that was a transitional period, and probably talk about this more in boundaries, but it was like, I don't owe anyone anything. Just because somebody's DMing me or somebody's commenting, I don't owe them a reply. If I want to, and I'm in the right space and I've got the right energy and I've got the time, I will. But if I don't want to, or I don't see it, or I don't have time, and I don't. And I think these arbitrary rules that people, usually social media experts, have decided this is the rule, you have to sort of sit and think, is this true? And is this important? And is this what I want to do? Again, let's go in. Do I want to be the person who replies to every single comment? And if your soul goes, fuck no, you got better things to be doing, then don't do it. If your soul says, yes, I want to nurture and make every person who interacts with me feel loved and cared for, and that's really important to me, then do that.
Yeah. Where do you see content going? Just out of curiosity. So the future of it, there's lots of changes going on in the world.
I mean, I suppose we can't really wrap up content without talking about AI.
A little bit, yeah, but I just your views in general. Like, you've been around a bit, you've seen changes. A lot of them have been fairly slow. You know, we've seen everything from Periscope to Facebook Lives, but
I did my first live on Periscope.
Yeah, but not much has changed recently, has it? There ain't been, other than I'd say maybe TikTok with things like stories and reels. That's probably been the biggest change in the last 5-6 years or so, something like that.
Yeah, I think the more high tech and the more automated and the more AI things get, the more authentic human connection will be valued.
Yep.
So, which is a bit trite, but it's true. So really focusing on the things that only you can do is going to pay off massively.
Yeah.
So this is where the connection to soul and self and offer and client really comes into its own.
Do you think
AI can't do that for you?
That's going to be more valuable then, isn't it? And it's going to be noticeable.
I think it'd be noticeable. I think people will feel it. Well, I know people will feel it because since I've started the daily practice and writing content straight after coming out of that practice, I've seen a huge shift in the way that people respond. And is it the practice? Is it the intention? Is it the speed at which I start writing? I don't know. Yeah. But let's throw everything at it and have that as the gold standard, if you like. Yeah. I'm going to do my practice, I'm going to post, and I'm going to detach from the outcome. Yeah. I think that's what I'd say about the comment stuff and the engagement stuff is try and emotionally detach from the outcome. You have got to focus on your output. So am I showing up for my business today? Yes or no? What people do after that is none of your business.
Yeah. And so leading on from that my mind's thinking, what would Helen want from like if you had the ideal landscape to put content out, what would it look like for you maybe? But would you do anything different? Would you like to see the platforms operate different? Would you like to see things be made easier so that you could follow through with these processes that you have and get yourself out there?
It's funny because...
It's like Helen's dream list, right?
Yeah, if I could wave a magic wand, and this kind of exists, is I'd get paid just for hanging out on Facebook all day. Because it's what I do for free. Yeah,
it's a good laugh. It's
a good laugh. It's like this, isn't it? I do it for free. And I know there's these creator programs and stuff. But yeah, I think if you could just get paid for hanging out on Facebook, that would be fantastic. But we've just got to work with what we've got. And I really loved Clubhouse, for example. I thought that was fantastic. Right. It's still there, but... And a couple of people I know are going back on it, but that, I loved that feeling of this is new and exciting and live and in the moment. And
I never went on it. What
audio.
Was it?
It was fantastic. I did it in lockdown. I used to run a morning show with Gemma and Julie.
Live broadcast channel, is that what it was?
Yeah, it was like a sort of mix between a podcast and a live Zoom room.
Right.
So you had to be in it. Not anymore. Now it's recorded, which I think ruined it. But anyway, so it was live. It was audio only.
Yeah.
And you had all your little faces and you could set up these rooms and invite people to it and people just drop in and out and you could bring people up to the stage. I really enjoyed that. Right. Yeah, that was good.
I think, we work some guys in VR here in this building and they were telling us about stuff like this. Yeah. That the world's going to move to a quite unusual place once they figure it out and the internet cables can take it. But he was talking to me about concerts. He said you'd be able to go to a concert and do it from home and you could be on the stage with Taylor Swift.
Yeah, nice.
He said you'd be able to buy a stage ticket and only be allowed so many on. And so, I think one day content will probably end up in that kind of spectrum. But no, that's great. So listen, where are we at? We're 44 minutes in. So...
overran again.
Fuck you, 30 minutes. It's not...
This is like the non-30 minutes podcast.
Fuck the brief.
Podcast.
So anything to add, Hitch, for this?
I think just relax and enjoy it and have fun with it. Because if you relax and enjoy and have fun with anything, you're more likely to do it. You're more likely to do it for a longer term. Yeah. You're more likely to get better results from it. So it's as simple as that. But just use the practice as the springboard and the ideal client work. So that's the strategic and the spiritual.
There's a lot of stuff behind this content. It's not just content. It's all the stuff we've spoke about up to this point is behind all of this, isn't it?
And also you can't really get it wrong.
No.
I mean, it's gone 30 seconds later. So it's like, it's not this, again, this overthinking. People say to me, like, I'm going to post my offer or whatever. And I'm really nervous. And I'm like, well, you know what's going to happen? Nothing. Yeah, the most likely thing is nothing's going to happen. You got to post it. I post more offers that I don't make sales from than ones that I do. You know, it's a misconception that every time you put out a sales post, you should sell off it, in my opinion, because it's just a billboard that's just going past people's feeds. And when they're ready, they'll reach out. So I always say you normally have to promote things about 100 times more than you think you're going to have to. And that's okay. So being consistent and showing up, which I know we're going to talk about, is one thing, but having fun with your content and trying different things and putting out your offers and being a bit free with it and not trying to be structured and following someone else's guidelines, I think can really be a revelation.
And you can share whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
And you can share and you don't have to share everything.
You don't. You can choose what you want.
I think that liberates a lot of people, because I've had lots of people that just don't show up at all because they feel they have to share everything. Say, hey, that's not true.
Oh, absolutely not. Highlight reels all the way.
Yay to the highlight reel.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody wants to see me when I'm in a shit mood.
I posted that once. I championed the highlight reel. I said, I'm sick of all this content. I said, I just want to see your highlight reel. Like that. And people went mental at me. Like, you fucking asshole, what are you talking about?
Well, again, it's so trite, isn't it? Oh, people just show us the highlight reel. Well, yeah, they do. That's social media. That's the point.
Everybody is doing it.
You've got to be open and vulnerable and show every aspect of you. No, you don't.
Yeah. Here's me taking a TED. How do you like them apples?
I just don't think, like, if you want to, great, but don't feel like you have to.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see me crying and being miserable.
I liked what you said in one of the previous episodes, which was, it was something about winning and whining. What was it?
Yeah, winning energy and whining energy. Yeah. Show up in winning energy, because will attract winners. Yeah. If you show up in whining energy, that will attract whiners.
Yeah.
So you decide. You only got control over how you show up and when you show up. So if you are in the wrong energy and you're triggered, or you're in the bottom left and you're in the whining energy, don't post.
Which backs up why, when you're feeling that energy there, you go, pull the trigger.
When you're in winning energy, go. Don't hold back. Don't think, I posted too much today, or I'm spamming my feed. It's like, there's no such thing as your feed. Do what you want. Yeah,
you're kind of a little bit at the mercy of just checking in when that energy's there. It's like, right, go now. And when you're not in that energy, like, minimum viable product. Posted, like, this morning, for example, I know I'm going to be filming, so I just posted a picture of my offer before I kind of got out of bed, and that's, at least I'll put something out today. Hello, you take a picture of me. Hello.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll be my concept for the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Cheers, Els.
Well, that's it. This is what I mean. People say to me, I've not posted because I'm at an event. It's like, this, you could do 20 posts at an event.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. All right, cool.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. See you in the next one.
See you on the next one.
'Cause these are the best